What's up, YouTube family? Tio here, Simplistic Fishing. It is cold outside. I think today is the coldest day of the year, obviously, because it's only the second day of the year, but it is freezing outside. So, not a lot of fishing going on, but I wanted to continue to do the lake breakdowns for you guys so we can get ready for this spring. We are finishing up Ray Roberts tonight on the offshore side. Stick around, got some good stuff for you. Well, here we are back on Ray Roberts again. We have really covered a ton on this lake. If you've missed everything that we've done here, go out and check out our channel, Simplistic Fishing on YouTube, and look underneath the lake breakdown sections. You're going to see several different videos for Lake Ray Roberts. That includes all the Google Earth waypoints that we went out and found on this lake. And then we've started the avionics side where we go when we talk about the offshore stuff, which is this video. And we've already covered everything from the dam all the way up here on the east side, and we're working our way back up here on the west side, and we'll see what we can finish up tonight. So let's go ahead and draw this thing in and see what we find. So when we come up in here, there's a lot of good spots that are right in this area. So we finish right here off of this little point where the little fish icon is that you see there. This is where we're going to start today. So I really like this spot, guys. Real good shallow area that comes out, good flat. And then right off the edge of that flat, you've got a pond that looks like in there as well. I didn't even notice that. You've got a really good ledge that's right here, right off the edge of that flat. So right off the outside edge of it. Then as you move in here, the next thing that I really noticed was right over in here. Got a nice little, again, underwater flat that comes way out here. And then right over here, you've got a nice little drop that comes off. If I zoom that back, you'll notice it's a little bit sharper than what it looked like when I had it really zoomed in. Plus, you're really close to this creek channel that's over here as well, or creek bed. So you really got to like the odds of how everything's looking. And then if you notice, there's a ton of fish icons in here. So there's one here, fishing diving hotspot, another one here, another one here. They're basically saying fish close to that creek channel or creek bed, and you're probably going to find some fish. All right, so then as we move up here, get further into this little pocket, we've got a really nice shallow water point that comes out, 8 foot on top, nice little feeding table, and then a good little break that it goes out into. And then you got a creek bed over here off to the left side as well. So really like that spot right there. Also coming back in here, if we get a little bit further back, got really good depth back in here, about 14, 15 feet. But you notice here we got some culverts that are over here. We got one here, and then we've got a couple more that are over here off to the left side. So like how that whole pocket sets up. I think you've got a lot of really good opportunities to catch some bass when you get back in that area. All right, so let's keep moving up and see what else we can find. Next thing that we find, got a little creek bed that comes over here, comes really close to the point here. But the main thing here is looking here, you've got one of those pond dams. And I'm not sure if we found this pond dam on Google Earth or not. I haven't compared the two of them, but I really like the way this one sets up. That pond dam's right outside that little pocket. You can tell that it has a pretty good little break that's over there. It's got a little creek bed coming into it, and then here's where the creek bed comes out. Just love how that one sets up. All right, so we're going to keep moving up and see what else we can find. As we get further up here, let me back off a little bit, show you where I'm at. Just underneath the bridge. And then as we get underneath the bridge and we get over here to the right side, the thing that I really liked over here was, again, we got another little underwater road bed coming through here. There's a lot of road beds on this lake. This one's got a nice culvert, and it's in some pretty decent water, so decent depth. So 15 to 20 foot of water, pretty good depth on that culvert that's there. Then as you move further up in here, again, we got a lot of flooded timber and stuff, so be careful. But as you move over here, another one of those road beds, probably the same exact road bed, just running through both of these coves. So if you find them on that one, on a culvert on the one, you know you've got two really good spots, because typically you find them on a pattern. As long as you catch more than one, you're good to go. Start following that pattern, and then you're probably going to find them here as well. If you move over here, you got a good point too. So nice shallow water point, 6 foot, and then drops down off into about 14 foot of water. So real good drop right in that area. And then as you move further up, kind of the same thing, getting back in this pocket, finding these road beds and finding the culverts. So again, if you get on that pattern, there's a lot of things that are very similar up in this pocket. So if you can find a decent pattern in this pocket, you should be able to run it and find a lot of the similar things when you get up in here. All right, so we get up in here, it gets really shallow. So not a ton of stuff I can show you from an offshore standpoint, but I did want to point out these things. One, you've got a nice little bend that's coming over here, comes out and has a nice little break right in here, nice little ledge. Also, if we pull back, come up here where the road crosses, always fish right in there. This one looks really good because it's coming down and the creek channel pretty much goes right over the side of it. So you could definitely want to fish right over here on the side of this road bed. All right, so I'm going to pull back down. We're going to keep coming down this west side. Next thing that we find, really, again, guys, if you've watched any of my videos, I pay a lot of attention to the creek channels, the river channels, things like that. And so a lot of my offshore spots are going to be related to that. So if you're trying to kind of figure out how I'm figuring these spots out, definitely just start following the creek channels and looking, and you're going to start being amazed at what you can find when you look at these contour maps. So right here, you've got a little hump that comes out, 8 foot on top, has a nice little break off to the right side of it, to the north side. So definitely look over in here. This, I don't think it would be as good back in here. Of course, not saying you can't catch a fish anywhere, but your higher percentage area is going to be more over in here. All right, so following that creek channel down, the main creek channel, seeing what else we can find. Again, we got a nice little underwater point that comes out about 8 foot right in here, right off the edge of that creek channel. So definitely go look in there. Looks like you got flooded timber down there too. Of course, there's flooded timber everywhere in this lake. And then as we move further down here, going to this little pocket that's over on this side, another one of those culverts with the roadbed. Again, almost the same exact depth, right? 15 to 20 foot of water. So if those culverts are on, you are money going all the way up inside of this main channel. All right, so we're going to come over here. We're going to go underneath the bridge. And here is where we start seeing a few more points. They're obviously we getting a little bit deeper water, but over here, we've got a roadbed that comes off of this little shallow hump that's over here. So you want to be really careful you don't run up shore on this little shallow water hump. But look over here up the side of the hump over here on this side where the roadbed is, and also look on the back side because the back side actually has a little bit of a ledge over here. All right, then moving over here, following this main creek channel, if we're out here, there's a couple things to look at. One, be right in here, there's a brush pile. So there's not too many brush piles on this lake. I think this is the one where we had a ton of brush piles on this lake. So, but definitely go check this one out. Also look over here as well. There's another brush pile over here. And then if you move back on the creek channel, there's another one of those culverts that's back there. So you got the roadbed, the creek bed, the culvert, all that's setting up good. And again, about 15 to 20 foot of water. So we're starting to see a pretty good little pattern going on there. All right, so as we move down a little bit further down here, another one of those, this one is actually a bridge, I believe. So if you've ever done a lot of offshore fishing, you guys know that submerged bridges are money typically for the most part. So you definitely want to fish any submerged bridge you can find as long as it's not too deep of water. This one is getting into some pretty deep water, about 30 foot, but that's almost perfect for a submerged bridge. So you probably got the top of the bridge is probably 15 foot or something like that. So really good area to go find some fish, go out there, throw spoons around in that area, stuff like that. You're going to have some success. Also over here, if we're following that main river channel down or creek channel, whichever one this one is, right here, you've got another good ledge coming off right in this area. So you can see here, it's got a nice flat top, about 16 foot, and then a real good break right there off the edge of it. Then as we move further back in here, following this main creek channel, look at this ledge that's created right over in here. This looks beautiful. And then right here, if you look, you got a little turn in. So I could see them setting up right there around that little turn in. It almost makes like a little underwater point for them. And then of course, you want to fish over here. The middle of the bridge around those pillars looks like where that creek channel is coming through. And someone's put a fishing or diving hotspot there. Obviously, that's a good spot. Those are always great spots, especially if you're throwing A-rigs and stuff like that. Those are awesome spots to throw for an A-rig in. So let me see if there's anything back here. I think there was one more. Yeah, there's just one more back in here. And if you look, you got a big flat that's over here off the side, but it comes out and it makes a point right here where the river channel or creek channel actually makes a bend. So right there where that bend is could be a really good spot to go take a look at as well, as long as you can get back there. I know some of this stuff is pretty gnarly. All right, so we went up in there. Let's keep going down. Let's keep going south. Next thing we find is over here. It says there's some gravel pits over here. I don't know what that is, but I do know that when we zoom in, we've got a nice little roadbed that comes right back in here. Pretty shallow, kind of comes out across this point as well. So I would fish right there where the marker is, but I'd also come over here and fish around this point, this underwater point that's out here. And then notice over here, someone said that's a fishing or diving hotspot. So just some interesting stuff going on right around in this area. I would definitely, at least drop down and scan around and see if you can see anything down there underneath the water. That looks like a really good spot. All right, so I'm going to keep coming back out here, and we're going to get out here into some deeper water now. But we got a really nice shallow little underwater point that comes way out here, real shallow. So looking around that, we got a little saddle that comes in here. If you'll notice, it goes to 10 foot. So it's 5 foot here, 5 foot here, and you got a little 10-foot saddle in between it. So those saddles are really good spots to try to find fish for sure. And then if you look over here off the side of the saddle, you've got a real good ledge here because the creek bed runs up right against the side of that really shallow spot. So right in there would be a really good spot to take a look at. Also, I think I marked something further out there. Nope, I didn't. So just those two spots there. And then coming back in here, following that creek bed back, it swings up really close to this point, this underwater point right here. It makes a real good ledge. I really like how that one sets up. That one looks juicy. Then as we get further back in here, we've got those underwater culverts, right, that are everywhere. We've got underwater roads, culverts, all that good stuff. But back here, this one looks better just because look at the depth that's back here. Oops, sorry. Look at the depth that we have back here. So we got, 5 foot, 4 foot, 7, 8 foot. But right here, we've got 10 foot, and we've got that submerged culvert. In fact, it even goes down to like 13 foot right in that area. So really liked that spot that was back in there. All right, so I'm going to come out of that little pocket. Let me show you guys where I'm at, so you don't get lost. I'm going to make sure I don't lose myself as well. We're about right here, so about mid-lake on the west side. We're going to keep coming back down. Next thing you find here is another little pond dam. Again, you got a little ledge that's right in that area, so that looks kind of juicy. And then as we move further down, you zoom back out a little bit. Right in here, I don't know what this is, but I think you definitely got to go check it out because there's a lot of them. But it says there's these piles, and I don't know if these piles are rock piles or what, but go take a look at them because there's 4 or 5 of them right there in that area. Plus you've got another one here. Maybe could have been an old dam or something. Or not old dam, like old bridge pillars, something like that. Heck, I have no idea, but go and look at them because they set up really nicely in the area that they're in. So then moving back in here, got a couple more things to point out to you guys. One right here off this point. One, you got a little roadbed again out here, but look at this point. It's got a real nice sharp drop. I wonder if that creek bed doesn't come a little bit further down here and actually touch the point right in that area. Also back here, got some flooded timber back in here. I put a marker back in here as well. But if you look, it's right around that intersection that's right there. So I really like that spot there as well. Then moving back, got a couple more spots back in here to show you. You look here, you got an underwater point that comes out 7 foot. It's not very deep, right? 12 foot, but you got like a 5 foot ledge right in this area. So that could have some potential. Definitely not something that most people are going to go check out. And then you get way back in here. There's some submerged culverts back in here. There's a rock pile back in here as well. There's road beds as well. All that stuff looks really good. Really shallow though, only about 6 foot. So it's going to depend on the time of year when you want to go back there. All right, so I'm going to pull back out of that. And we're going to come down here to this next pocket. We see the same thing again. There's these piles. So if those piles are good, whatever they are, and if you know what they are, leave me a message down in the comments. Let me know what those are. Those rock piles, those bridge pillars, what the heck are they? But my guess is they're probably going to be pretty good to fish, especially the ones that are closer to these creek beds. So if you find that pile and it's close to that creek bed, that's a double one. This one's not going to be as good, but it still could be good if it's a rock pile. All right, then moving over here, looking at that creek bed, really like that area right in there. Went ahead and marked it for you guys. If you notice, there's some pretty good contours going on right in that area. So really like that. Plus it's a local spot, so you got to go check that out. Then as we move further down here, we get off this point, There's a little roadbed that comes out here. This one looks interesting, but I went ahead and marked right in here. One, because there's a brush pile right there. I don't want you guys to miss it. But when you're fishing that brush pile, if that is good, also come out here and see if you can find that roadbed. It's pretty deep water right in that area, but that could have some potential for sure. Also down in here, this all looks very interesting. Don't know what is going on here, but if you look here, it's 24 foot, and then it goes and it has a drop right here down to 13 foot. So it's like 13, and then it drops, and then it goes back to 24. Can't really tell what in the world's going on down here, but this looks like it should have some potential to have some fish setting up on it because it is so different. So then we're going to get back in here. We're going to get close to this. There's a marina back here. Let's see what marina this is. Lake Ray Roberts Marina. So as you get back in there, you got a lot of different, different single buildings. So basically a bunch of foundations off the edge of that point. I didn't mark them for you guys. I haven't really had a lot of success fishing foundations. I know that you can, but I should also say that I don't fish them very often at all. So maybe that's something I need to add to my tool bag. But if I was out here, I would definitely go out here and probably throw some Carolina rigs around these foundations and just see if I can pick up anything off of them. All right, so we're going to keep moving back. We get back in here, we got a little point that comes off, real shallow on top, and then breaks off. It has a creek bed nearby, so we'd definitely check that one out for sure. And then over here off of this side, you got another little underwater point that comes out, about 12 foot. It's fairly close, dang it, fairly close to that creek bed that's right there as well. So look in this area, just right in here, see if you can pick anything up. Also got a pond there. I didn't even miss that the first time. You got a pond over here you could check out. So definitely want to look at that, or at least just scan by it. Sometimes those ponds can be little secret honey holes. And then as we move further down here, guys, I didn't see too much from an offshore perspective. When we get down here, it's pretty flat. I don't have a lot of contours and stuff to show you guys, but I know we did pick up several different things from the Google Earth waypoint side that was in that area. So that wraps us up for Lake Ray Roberts. Make sure to go out, check out our website, SimplisticFishing.com, to pick up your SD card. Guys, I hope this is helping you guys out, and I hope you catch your PB. Take it easy.